Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 6 of the Wilson Family Podcast, where we focus on faith, family, and business. I'm Bianca. I'm your host. This is my co-host.
Yes, and I'm Stanley.
If you guys have not seen episode 5, please go back and watch it, share it, leave us comments, send us messages. Introducing yourself to your destiny was our topic last week. This week, our topic is going to be
Resting in peace.
Rest in peace. I know you guys are thinking like, okay, why did they choose to talk about resting in peace? And usually we use the word rest in peace when it comes to somebody passing and so forth. But we try to put a little twist on our title. So rest in peace. But I honestly mean rest in peace. When we talked about rest, I actually wrote down the definitions. But first off, when it comes to rest period, have you guys ever experienced, including you, I'm speaking to myself, have you ever experienced like you just mentally and physically tired? Your mind just keeps wandering. When you try to lay down and sleep, your mind just keeps going. You can't get your mind to shut off. You're experiencing anxiety or worrying about things you shouldn't even be worrying about. Your mind just won't stop, and your mind just keeps twirling. Even when you try to get yourself on task, you're off task, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, your emotions up and down. Have you?
Yes, so for me, I've been through that. I feel like my mind is like a spaghetti.
Okay.
My mind, one minute, I be trying to pray sometimes, and then I be off to think about something completely different. I be like, Lord, help me get my mind on track.
Yeah.
I need to, focus and get everything in a line.
Now, when I was asking you those questions are meaning, sometimes it means that you could be suffering from lack of rest. That's why we're saying rest in peace. Lack of rest. So some of the symptoms that is showing if you're if you're not resting is experiencing trouble sleeping, racing thoughts that your mind is all over the place. When you lay down, your mind just keeps going, won't shut off. You have trouble paying attention to it. Anxiety, being worried, and just flat out just tired, personally, emotionally, and physically. That is all symptoms of lacking in rest. When I say rest, I'm not talking about just sleeping, because we all have to go to sleep eventually. Some may not sleep as good as others, but as far as sleep, we know that you're sleeping, but are you actually resting in peace?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We're not.
All right. So when I looked up the definition of what does rest mean, it says to cease from action or motion, refrain from labor or exertion, to be free from anxiety or disturbance.
Okay.
That's what rest means, right?
Okay.
And then I looked in another definition by Cambridge. It says, for peace is a state of mind of tranquility or quiet. And another book gave me the definition for rest is just stop. It just said stop. It didn't give no other explanation, no long definition. It said the verb for the word rest was stop.
Okay.
So when you put rest and peace together, that means stop and be quiet, right? So if rest means stop and peace means quiet or tranquility or state of tranquility, that means stop and be quiet, right? So are we resting? We're resting, but are you resting in peace?
Well, I'm going to say this. Sometimes it be so much distraction and things going on, it's hard to rest in peace.
Yeah, actually rest in peace. Like
Right.
rest, we sit down sometimes, but sometimes your mind still thinks about what I gotta do.
Right.
Oh, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta wash this. Oh, I need to do this, I need to call this person, I need this for the kids. Oh, I forgot to do this for work. We're not resting. We're not letting our minds actually rest and rejuvenate.
Right.
One of the scriptures, we always try to start off with a scripture
Of course.
that we looked at was Luke 8:22-5. I will try to give a summary real quick. So basically, it was Jesus and the disciples. They went out on a lake.
Okay.
And when they went out on the lake, a storm came.
Right.
A really bad storm. And the boat they were in started taking on water. And this is rocking the boat. So just imagine, you full-blown panic, right?
Yeah.
Of
course, because water coming into the boat.
Yeah, so...
And you freaking out like, what we gonna do?
Yeah, but you got Jesus on the boat with you, right? They look, and Jesus is asleep.
And he in person, too. And he back there just sleeping away.
He's tired. He's asleep. He's resting. I can't say he's tired. He's resting. He's resting in the midst of a storm going on. So I hope you guys see what we're saying in both ways. How could this? They looked at him and they're like, let me get word for word what they said so I won't be. The disciples went and woke him up shouting, Master, Master, we're going to drown. When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and the raging waves. Suddenly the storm stopped and all was calm. Then he asked them, where is your faith?
Wow.
So they already showed they didn't have any faith because they hollering, we're going to drown. That meant that they had no faith they were going to survive.
They were panicking.
Right, but how many times in life are we in situations where, you know, the storms that are coming, they're coming left and right now. We have so many storms going on. You might have storms going on in your life personally, with your family, within your marriage, at your job.
Right.
We have racial tensions going on right now. We have election stuff going on. We have financial. You might have financial storms. You have a lot going on right now. Storms.
Yeah.
Storms can come from this way. Storms can come from that way. Right.
You can't tell if you're going or coming in one.
Well, like they say, either you're walking in one.
Yep.
What else?
Or you're coming out of one.
Or you're currently in one. Right.
Oh, that is correct.
A storm. But in this situation, Jesus was on the boat with them, and let's give a little context to who Jesus was to them. Jesus, those were his disciples. So his disciples saw him do
hundreds of things.
Miracles.
Miracles.
They saw him raise people from the dead.
Yes.
They saw him heal the sick.
Yes.
They saw him heal the blind. They saw the things that Jesus could do, right?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Turn water into wine. They saw the things that Jesus could do.
Right.
So to have that person with you and for you, and actually physically with them at the moment, why were they freaking out? That's why he said he got up here, he sleep, he's resting, because he got up and he was like, where's your faith?
Right.
And they full blown, master, get up, we're gonna drown.
Right.
But if they actually believed in who they had with them, should they have been acting like that?
No, not at all. But a lot of times we get in situations where we forget about what he done for us in the past, and we focus on right now, like, I need this right now. Like, hey, wake up. We about to drown.
But we have to remember his track record. If you know his track record, you got to know it's like, this is the same God that brought me through this situation. So why would he bring me through this and not bring me through this one? Right. So that's the kind of perspective they should have had on the boat. But they was like, bro, we are drowning. Wake up, man. You over here asleep. But he was actually resting. You know, to be able to, I can only imagine, to be able to have that kind of rest during a storm. Yeah. That the storm did not bother him.
And not just a typical storm either.
No, no.
Because they said it was, raging winds and raging waves?
Water was coming onto the boat. Mm-hmm. The boat was filling with water. Okay. And they were in real danger.
So I'm going to be honest. If I was on the boat, I got my life raft. I got everything on.
But Jesus is with you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about the storm because he's going to take care of you, right?
That is correct.
You know you're not going to drown. You know he's not going to let you die. You know that you're not going to lack in any area because you had the Almighty with you. How we are today, we have to walk out on faith. Right. And faith is not something we can touch, right? Right. Right then, they had something physical they could touch. They had peace. He said that he's the Prince of Peace, right? Correct. They had the Prince of Peace on the boat with them. Right. Right? So the way they reacted and the way we reacted should have been two different things, right? I was going to give some examples of when I haven't had any peace, or did you want to share when you knew you didn't have any peace? We already talked about the symptoms of not getting rest, and quite naturally, rest and peace go together. Right. Rest and peace go together. So I know personally for myself, if you were trying to think of something, like when I was going through my situation, I was just getting ready to make the jump and actually leave my job. I wasn't resting. I did not have peace. It took me a long time to get peace with my decision. Then when I found out I actually got over and okay, that's when I started to feel like, okay, whatever's going to happen, Lord, I'm going to have to trust you on this one, right? Right. I didn't have peace because I'm always trying to know what's coming next or how it's going to happen and stuff like that. That's when I don't rest. Because I have to know how, when, what was next and whatever the case may be. But with God, he doesn't let us know what's next. We just got to literally trust him and have faith. And that's why he asked them, where is your faith?
Right. So for me, I had a job opportunity to come up, and I don't know if you can remember.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I did not rest for at least a week.
Bro, he wore the catnip out of the
And then the final day came. I think I walked in and out of the door probably about like 20 times, and I was like, I'm going. I'm not going. I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna take it. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna go. Then I finally said, you know what, God, I need to have peace with this. And then just flat out said, I ain't going. Yeah. And after that, I had peace. Yeah. But before.
But you didn't have peace in it, and that's when it comes when you're going back and forth about decisions. And that's when you know certain things are from God, when stuff are not from God. And you got to listen to yourself. When there's so much in your head, and if a big decision comes up and you're like rattled back and forth, and you really don't know, if it's God, it's going to be a peaceful decision. Right. Everything going to work yourself out from the beginning to the end. I remember one time years ago when I had got a job opportunity, I was like, oh my God. Oh, matter of fact, when I first got the job at Norfolk Southern, when I was working on the railroad, and you know, when you work on the railroad, you're on the road a lot. And I was like, I had little kids, I had girls that you were where you were at, you working, and we have girls, and they had to have hair done, and I know you had to be at work by 7.
Yep.
And I was like, if I'm going to be on the road, how am I going to do this, Lord? How am I going to do this? And what about the kids? And what about that? And they were going to station me somewhere else. I think they were going to station me at that time in Crew, Virginia. Remember?
That's correct.
But literally, guys, I was racking my brains about how this and how that, and I didn't have peace. I wasn't resting. I couldn't focus. My thoughts and everything were all over the place because I was trying to figure out everything. And it wasn't for me to figure out everything. If I had just trusted God, like any other time before, He's worked situations out that I wanted. If it was for me, like they say, it was for you, it's for you. And you'll know because it will work yourself out. And lo and behold, one thing after another, remember?
It lined all up for you.
They called me, it's like, hey, don't worry about getting stationed in Crew, Virginia. We worked something out. You're going to stay in Norfolk so you can be with your kids. Boom. Then we got somebody, end up doing the kids' hair for us. And it's just one thing aligned. My mom jumped in and helped with the kids. It was everything that I was trying to figure out on my own. If I had just took my hands off the situation, I could have had rest. And I had worn myself crazy.
Because God already had it all lined up for you.
But I had to have my hands in it. I had to have, this is a lot of reasons why we don't rest.
Yeah, but sometimes, our thing is we want to be in control.
Yeah.
And we can't always be in control. Because if we're in control, we're not letting God be in control.
Yeah. I know sometimes when you sleep, and I don't know if you guys experience this, but when you're in stressful situations, and even it may not even be you personally, it could be your subconscious still stressing.
Yeah.
You go to sleep, you get up, you still tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your mind's still going,
Still
you haven't let whatever it is go.
Right.
I end up looking up ways to stay calm during a storm. All right. So the first way it says to get rest.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So to get rest, what are some of the things that you do to get rest? I mean, how do you narrow it down?
Things to actually get rest and rest. Because I know when you're going through, you can't just rest, right?
Right.
Because it's easier said than done. Like for me, I exercise.
Okay.
I can't name the actual whatever it releases. I think it's serotonin, whatever case being. You're actually exercising. They'll tell you that's one thing to help with anxiety.
Okay. And
that's one thing, instead of taking anxiety medicine, it was to exercise. Another thing was, like me, I journal.
Okay.
What do you do?
So for me, I like to, as a man, I cut grass. I feel like that's my peace. Because I'm outdoors,
Yeah.
It's just me out there and I can hear God. And then I also walk.
Yeah.
When we go on our morning walks, and sometimes, we conversate, and then sometimes you be like, you're so quiet, and it gives me time to relax and be at peace.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the ways to stay calm during a storm, it was to get rest, clear your mind. In some ways to clear your mind, like for me, it's journaling. Like you said, it might be for cutting grass and or actually talking while we're out on our walks, exercising. And then I Googled, I literally, if you guys don't believe me, I put in Google how to stay asleep during a thunderstorm. Because there's some people that's just scared of storms. And I hope you guys can find it, hear it both ways. How to stay asleep during a thunderstorm. And the answer was block the noise out. It blew my mind because I know I was just literally Googling how to stay asleep during a thunderstorm. Meaning, people are honestly scared of thunderstorms, right?
Right.
But the answer was block the noise out. I was like, wow, block the noise out.
Well, how do you do that though?
But we're talking about resting in peace. When you're saying block the noise out, when it said examples of how to block noise out, it said plug your ears. It said cover your ears.
Okay.
People try to stay asleep during thunderstorms because they're scared. Block the noise out. So whatever's going on around you, anything that's trying to attack you, your spirit trying to attack your happiness, your creativity, block the noise out.
Block it.
Rest in peace. You cannot be worried about those things. It is what it is, and God will fight your battles. You have to just like He was on that boat when He was sitting there and He was asleep in the middle of a storm. You have to learn how to rest, and rest will change everything.
Everything. Yeah, I'm telling you, getting some good rest will change everything.
And then practice gratitude. So many times, like we talked about on the 4th episode about where you put your focus.
Right.
That's where your energy flows and your focus goes. Practice gratitude. I see a lot of people doing that is where they journal about just stuff that they're thankful for.
Right.
Take the time. If you see yourself complaining all day long, I'm tired, and this is going on. And if you're complaining, that's where your energy's going, and that's what's growing.
Right. So we need to turn that around and instead of complaining. Be thankful.
Yeah, but focus and keep replaying those things you're thankful for. Why all hell could be breaking loose. I don't know anybody that's not in the storm right now.
Right.
In some sort of kind of storm.
Right.
And if you're not, congratulations. But I don't know many people. But if like I'm saying, practice and focus on the things that you have. You have your life.
Right.
You got your health.
Mobility.
You got a roof over your head. You got your fingers. You can see. You can walk. There's a lot of things you can focus on that are positive instead of the negative. Because the more you focus on the negative, the more, like it says, the law of attraction. You attract. Law of attraction, it talks about, if you ever pay attention, I know you know what I'm about to say.
Right.
When we started attending a church in Texas, we would talk about this church all the time. We talk about Texas, Dallas, Texas. Okay,
That's
but what did you start seeing all the time?
I seen nothing but Texas tags.
That's the law of attraction. So if you ever read a book about law of attraction, it's wherever you keep thinking about, whatever you keep focusing on. You can buy a car and never seen that car but like once or twice on the street, and buy that car and see what happens. You'll see that car how many times?
1,000,000.
It's the law of attraction. What you're thinking of, what you focus on, it seems to come. It draws near you.
Right.
So instead of focusing on the negative stuff, why not try this? Try focusing on the positive and let me know. Send me messages. Let me know how. Every day for the next week. Try not to complain and try to focus on positive stuff. Gratitude journaling. It's called gratitude journaling. So start focusing on gratitude. When you get ready to start complaining, flip it. Don't even let the complaint come out your mouth. Start talking about things that you're thankful for.
Yes. And first of all, be thankful for grace.
Yeah.
God gave you grace.
Yeah.
And then mercy.
Yeah.
Because he spares a lot of us. Even when we do a lot of wrong, he spares our lives.
Yeah. Once you start feeling peace and you're like how do I know I'm actually peaceful? Like with the situation I can say about when I was getting ready to leave my job and I was so stressed and I was like, Lord, you got to bring me out of this. I'm not getting any sleep. I can't eat. I had no peace. I wasn't resting.
Yeah,
I was up all night long. I wasn't resting. It was taking a toll on me. How do you know the ways that you find peace? When you actually find peace, you will start contentment.
Right.
You'll start content. You'll be so content, it will blow your mind. You'll start accepting things the way that they are. You're not gonna. When something come up, you'll be like, okay.
Yeah, because you have that I don't care attitude anymore. Because look, I gave it to God. I'm at peace.
Yeah, and He's gonna handle it.
Right, and he's a way maker and a peacemaker. So if it started to stress you out, you're like, Lord, I gotta give it. You gotta give it to God, and you say, Lord, I gotta give it to you because
and be content in your decision.
Content.
You can't wrestle with the decision.
That's right.
Be content and just let it go. Because at the end of the day, what can you control?
Nothing.
It's nothing. When my mom talked about that, I think we saw a talk show one time, and the lady turned around and asked me, like, well, literally, list the things that you can control.
Nothing.
Nothing's in your control. So sitting here worrying about it, what's that going to do? Other than wear you down, you're going to mess around, get sick, cause yourself other health issues. Literally, what can you control?
Nothing.
So let's learn to be content.
Right. That's right.
How do you know you found peace? Contentment. You're going to start accepting things the way they are. You won't be interested in conflict.
Right.
When things come up, you're not going to be going back and forth. You'll be like, well, it is what it is.
Right.
It's not that you don't care, but you just have peace in knowing that God going to handle it, whether it's this way or that way. And if it doesn't come out the way you thought it was going to be, that was the way that He wanted it to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be content, and you're not going to be conflicting, right?
So for me, I'm going to say this real quick. So for me, I've learned, and I don't want to say it's like a arrogant thing, but I've learned to not to try to wrap myself up in it, because once I do that, it takes a lot of energy from you. It steals your joy. It takes your energy.
It drains you.
Yeah, it drains you, and then before you know it, your whole day done went by, and you're like, well, I ain't did nothing because you done been sucked dry.
Yeah, and we talked about. Well, I think we were listening to Cheryl Brady today when we were walking this morning, and she was talking about that same thing. Like, today is today. Don't waste today complaining about what happened yesterday or a couple weeks ago or what you think is gonna happen next week or whatever the case. But you wasted the whole day that God gave you. Like she said, you one heartbeat away from not even being here.
Yeah.
Who wants to think about all that stuff? Like, focus on today.
So be productive and keep going.
Yeah. Like we said, you won't care about what others think. It won't be that you're being arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you have peace with it. You know, just like they should have known on the boat that, you know what? So how it should have happened was they should have been rocking and rolling and going crazy. And they knew, and they should have just been there. And they knew that God had it, right? Yeah. And that's how we should be right now.
Right.
Whatever storm you're going through, no matter what it looks like, no matter what the physical eye, because you got to remember what they saw.
Right.
They out there in the water. The boat's taking on water.
Yeah.
I know. I watched Titanic. I couldn't even breathe when I saw the water coming on their boat.
Yeah,
so I can only
definitely.
imagine. Like, and I'm pretty sure back then when Jesus was living, this wasn't no Titanic. So this is just a boat, right?
So that's why I said, look, it'd have been me. I would have had my life jacket on and everything. But
what life jackets weren't invented back then? You know what I'm saying? They had the ultimate life jacket sitting there.
There you go.
So they had Jesus. They had more than we ever could have had.
There you go.
Titanic and anything else, they had Jesus. So they should have stayed calm in the storm. So that's what I'm saying. You'll start to feel, when you know you've actually found peace, you'll start to feel more spontaneous. You'll just do stuff.
Yeah.
You're not gonna worry about it. You're not gonna worry about how the outcome gonna be, or worrying about one thing that I'm guilty of, and I'm still working on myself, is stop trying to wait till everything's perfect.
now that's my biggest thing, because even when it came to me quitting, if you go back and watch I Quit, my thing was,
Oh Lord.
I was so worried about everything, like I had to have the answers, and I didn't have the answers. I'm like, all right, well, this ain't the perfect time. Like, I need everything to be lined up for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. But then that weekend we had that conversation. It was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go in and quit. And you was like, I guess you doubted me, but
Because he had done so much back and forth.
yeah, I did.
I think it's in Matthew when Peter gets to walk on water, and when Jesus actually was walking on water first, and they thought that it was a ghost, and Peter was like, if it's really you, then, you know, allow me to walk on the water, right?
Yeah.
And he tells him to come on. Well, he says come. He tells Peter to come, commands him to come on, right?
Right.
And Peter started walking in the water, and he's like, oh, you know, at that moment, he walked on water. Why? Do you know?
Yeah, faith.
He had faith. But as soon as he started to doubt, what happened?
Started to sink.
As soon as he started to doubt, he started to sink. So again, don't overthink whatever it is you're going through. Just
correct.
do it. Just do it. And that's what we were talking about. So ways to know that you found peace. You'll be content. You won't be interested in conflict. You won't care about what other people think. You're going to start feeling spontaneous. You're going to just move. You're not going to think about what if and what this and what if this doesn't happen, what if that happens. You're just going to do it.
So that's delete. Delete that in your mindset.
Yeah, just move, right? And you won't be impacted by stress. You won't worry. You will start to react to situations differently. Like, I personally can attest to myself, when I finally made peace with my decision about leaving my job to actually do this full time. I didn't have nothing mapped out. I didn't know how, when, what, where, why, but I just didn't even care no more. It was like, Lord, you in control of this thing. Drive it.
Right.
And I'm trusting you all the way. I didn't know if I was going to sink or swim, but then again, I knew who was in control of the boat, right?
Right.
So I knew that he wasn't going to. There's many times in our relationship, in my life,
Right.
that I could have been without. And no matter what, I got to keep remembering, like, every time stuff get hard, and I'm doing this myself, I'm telling you guys as I tell myself, every time things get hard in life, I got to keep remembering, like, I've been here before. Stuff has happened before. And God has I've never been without a meal.
Right.
I've never been without a roof over my head.
Correct.
I have never lacked. He's always made a way. Not that I can see the way, but I just had to trust him.
And that's part of our problem, because we want to know the answers right now. Like, no, I need to see it. And God don't work that way.
Yeah. And when you start to actually find peace and know, like, it is what it is,
Right.
you're going to start feeling more refreshed, more rejuvenated. You're not going to be so tired. You're going to have unthinkable energy. You're going to be happy. You won't have to be using caffeine to keep you awake and keep you boosted,
that's right.
keep you moving.
I know I have plenty of that.
You're going to find a new happiness about yourself.
Right.
Is there anything else you want to share before I share the Serenity Prayer?
No, man.
When I got ready to go to boot camp for the railroad, y'all, I was stressed to death because I was a female. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to be out here with all these guys. And I know I was not. I was going out here with like guys that were ex-Marines and all this kind of stuff to go to boot camp. I think our boot camp was like 3 weeks, or whatever the case may be. I was so concerned about, making it. And this was a huge jump. I'm coming from administrative type tasks to actually going on the railroad. So, as a train conductor. So, my grandma, when I got to boot camp, I opened my book bag. She had given me a copy of the Serenity Prayer, and when I got there and I called her, and I was stressed out about all the tests and all that kind of stuff, and the physical agility test they had us doing, she said, every time you start to get stressed, she said, read the Serenity Prayer. So this is my thing to you, because it worked for me. And still to this day, I still have the card that she gave me. It says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Let's just stop right there. So God grant me the serenity.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I hear God grant me the peace to accept the things I cannot change.
That's right.
And the courage to know the difference. To know what you're in control of, or what's in your corner, whatever, what's in your realm of control and what's not. And that way you will have peace, and you won't be sitting here stressing over something that you don't have nothing to do with.
Yeah, because if it's something that you can control, then you would change it.
Right. So God grant me the peace. I'm going to change the word serenity. God grant me the peace to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time. Living in the present moment. Not living tomorrow, not the past.
Yesterday,
living one day at a time. Enjoying one moment at a time. Accepting hardships as a pathway to peace. Meaning that on the way to peace, there are going to be storms, right?
Yes.
So just imagine it, but just think about when you get to the end of peace. When you get to the end of the storm, there's going to be peace, right? Accepting hardships as the pathway to peace. Taking as he did this sinful world, trusting that he will make things right. If I surrender to his will, so that I may be reasonably happy in his life, and supremely happy with him. So God, grant me the serenity. Grant me the peace to understand things I have control over and things I don't. And that way you won't be wasting time nor energy or nor your happiness. Life is too short to be stressed, and not being able to be rest and actually be happy and live peacefully.
Yeah.
So many times I've been talking to people lately, they're not living peacefully.
They're so stressed out.
And their mind is all over the place. Me and my friend was talking yesterday. I was telling her the same thing. So many times when I was so stressed, and you trying to. There's been times I've been trying to pray,
Right.
and I couldn't even get my mind focused to stay in the prayer because my mind would be off. Oh, I need to do this, so I gotta do that, or Lord, and I had to come back and apologize to the Lord that I got way off task because my mind was just everywhere because I wasn't resting, and I had no peace with stuff that was
You
going
had
on.
sleep,
No,
but you won't rest.
I won't rest at all. Sleep and rest is two different things. We ain't
That's
gonna get
it.
into that. But I saw a quote. It says, "Rest is not the absence of activity, but it's the presence of peace."
Mm-hmm.
I'll repeat it. It says, "Rest is not the absence of activity, but the presence of peace." Okay, so for the next month, we're gonna try something a little different. So bear with us. But for the next month, for the rest of August, we're gonna
Rest.
I'm telling you guys, I'm practicing the same thing myself, what I'm telling you guys to do. We're going to rest. So we will not be doing any podcasts in the remainder of August. We will still be working on them so we can have content for you guys in September. Yes. But August, we're going to take the time to actually knuckle down, block out distractions, focus. You won't really see us on social media unless we're advertising for our business or just keeping people engaged for the podcast. But if you need us, we're always accessible. Online, we have our email address, you got our phone number, you can inbox us anytime. But this month we're gonna rest. I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Today is the first day of a new month. You have a whole new clean slate to do whatever you need to do to hold down and focus. Some things I can tell you personally, since we're being transparent. In our house, we're practicing since today's August 1st. We're going to bed by a certain time. We're getting up by what time?
We're gonna say 6.
Yeah, 6 a.m.
We're pushing for the 5 a.m.
We tried to 5 a.m. but it depends if we get to bed by 9:30. So if we get to bed by 9:30, we're getting up by 5.
Right.
But 10:30 was the max. We were going to sleep, and we're getting up at 6.
That's correct.
And we did that today. We got up today. We were outside. We did 2.5 miles.
Yep.
We came in. We read our word. It's just getting focused.
Yeah.
Before the day starts, before the phone calls start, before the distractions start, already planting yourself. Right? Rooting yourself already. So whatever will get ready to come, just like a plant or a tree, you are rooted before whatever that day starts, right? So root yourself in the word. Root yourself in exercise and all stuff. Get yourself together before the days and the storms start raging, right?
Right.
So that's what we're practicing in my house for the month of August. I encourage you guys to, sit down and try to rest in peace. I look forward to hearing how you guys get rest.
Yes.
Still reach out to us. We'll still be responding. Just hit our inbox. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I challenge everyone to get up in the morning, whether you get on your phone and read your Bible, before you open up Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all those other social media. Take time out to hear from God. Read your Bible so you can hear from God. And some of the answers that you probably been wanting, it's probably when you open that book, it's probably going to be the first thing he point out. Because lately, when we've been watching, we turned out Joel Osteen the other day. Mm-hmm. What I've been looking for,
It was right there.
it was right there.
But that was the first time I actually sat down and watched TV. We are usually so
Yeah.
busy. So that's why we're going to sit down this month. I've even slacked off on photo shoots for the month of August because we just want to slow down. I don't know about you guys during the pandemic. We were actually able to hear from God because the world slowed down.
The whole world slowed down.
But right now, stuff is just, oh my God, stuff going all the time. Going all the time. You can't. So, August, slow down. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Our prayer for you guys is that you be able to rest.
Yes.
Actually rest. Get some good rest. Like, I'm talking about that, not a care in the world. That kind of sleep, and I don't know if you've experienced it, but we all can reminisce when we were kids and you were able to get that kind of sleep and you weren't worried about a thing. You weren't worried about what was going on yesterday. You won't worry about what's going on today. And your dad gonna show won't worry about what was going on tomorrow because we were kids and we had parents and you knew no matter how bad it got, guess what?
They had it.
The parents had it. But guess what? You have the ultimate parent. You have the ultimate father that's going to be of your situation. So I hope that you find that kind of peace. And knowing that God is fighting your battles while you sleep. So rest. He's fighting your battles. You don't have to fight anything.
Because you ain't in control.
There you go. So we will see you in September.
Yes.
Thank you guys for all your love and your support.
Yes.
And see you soon.